Tokyo 2020, the Olympics. Oh my God. What a tournament, am I right? The athletes had trained for 4 years, giving in their sweat and their blood and their tears, only to see the pandemic delay their plans and dreams. But did that stop them? I don't think so. And I'm sure you agree with me. Welcome all of you to this wonderful event on a Saturday morning, the Tokyo Olympics analyzed by kids with Bookosmia. Come 2021, and a new dawn of sporting history has been made. The Tokyo 2020 isn't just about sports, but the story of human resilience, the spirit of sportsmanship, and the refreshing validation that amidst all the competition, humanity thrives. Humanity well and truly exists. And that has been the cornerstone of the Olympics in 2021. Welcome to everyone to this Olympic special, a discussion with young minds brought to you by Bookosmia. Bookosmia, as a lot of you know, is the leading creative platform for under 17s, giving every child, no matter where they are, no matter what their background is, a platform to come ahead and express themselves, whether it is in the form of writing or in the form of podcast, as we are going to hear today. We also have some special guests joining in, but I'm not going to reveal too much on that. So, as we wait for all of us, let me tell you that this is the Backstage platform. Backstage is a very exciting new audio platform brought to us by Flix. And the best part about this Backstage platform is that we're not here to worry about how we look on the screen. Am I right? That's one of the worst problems of being on Zoom. And all of us have kind of, got a bit of a Zoom headache. So why not try this new platform, which is audio platform, where all that matters is just pure content. Come in and speak and express yourself to your heart's content. That's what this platform is. We're really excited here with our room, which we have, that is Bookosmia, where we have all our youngsters come in and talk. Probably one of the only podcasts of its kind which is run entirely by children. I'm really happy to welcome all of you as we wait for everyone else to join in. Please look at your screen. You will see a request button. That's for those who have been speakers for today. You can use that request button. And yes, if you want to talk, please do that. For the others, yeah, please remember that this is a very dynamic chat open to all of you, and we are waiting to hear from all of you and what you think. So please feel free to come in and express yourself. All right, so I'm going to give a couple of seconds for all of our participants to join in. Meanwhile, a nice song for all of us to get into the Olympics mood. See you in a bit. All right, a wonderful song from Chuck Day to get us started. And what a wonderful morning we are all set to have. Nice to see you all. Well, we've all been isolated. And the Olympics has been a point of connection for all of us. And it's been 16 days and two silver and three bronze medals. But the story of Olympics is so much more than just medals. To tell you a little bit about who we are and why we're doing this very special podcast today, I welcome Nidhi. Nidhi is the wonderful CEO of Bookosmia, the wonderful platform that we are all representing today. The wonderful platform that gives everyone a chance to speak. Nidhi, over to you.
Hi, hi everybody. Thanks, Archana. I hope everyone can hear me well. Yes, Archana is right. This is perhaps the only podcast, especially in India, and I won't be surprised if it's also the only one in the world, which is run completely by kids. Our panelists are speakers, just like the rest of the platform for Bookosmia is. We are completely driven by young people. And the whole idea behind that is there is something very unique for every young mind out there to say. So whether it is to write and get published through us, or it is to come in these platforms and share with us, so I really look forward to every conversation that we have. And we are kind of always gaining confidence that that is true through the variety of subjects that we talk about on backstage. We have spoken of Harry Potter, we have covered Father's Day, we have spoken of discrimination, we have people who are budding journalists. So it was only fair that Tokyo Olympics, which are so relevant right now, not just for celebrating the sport, but celebrating the spirit behind it, becomes something where we hear from young minds. So it's absolutely a pleasure. I'm looking forward to how this conversation will be. And Arshna, before we start, I thought I could just take a minute and share one of my very favorite tweets on the Olympics this year. Is by a very well-known journalist called Deborah Robertson, who writes for The Guardian and The Telegraph. And she wrote that I'm loving these young people at the Olympics, agreeing to share medals, cheering on their competition, knitting, pulling out if the time isn't right for them emotionally. Somehow they seem so sane, with a question mark. Look where an attitude of winning has got us, and now it's time for change. So I think in all of those wonderful events that she's quoted from the Olympics, the key to it is these young people. Whether they are at the Olympics or whether we are talking about it or thinking about it, they are the ones who will bring about a much needed change. Yeah.
Beautifully put, Nidhi. Beautifully put. And I think it's just so relevant for what we are doing today, where we are saying that it's the youngsters that are going to change the future. And by the wonderful spirit of sportsmanship that's been shown in this Olympics, I'm sure that future is secure. So, all of you, thank you so much for coming. A quick update for all of you who couldn't join in. Well, Aditi Ashok has created history by finishing fourth at the golf today, and this is such a great achievement, right up there, along with say I don't, PT Osha or Deepa Karmakar finishing fourth at the Olympics, an event that nobody was even cheering for, nobody even watched, but there she was. She was really almost close to getting that medal, but just a little bit, just a little so near yet so far for Aditi, but
Yeah.
still a fantastic effort by Aditi.
It was absolutely amazing, Archana, even to see her body language throughout the match. There was nothing in which it seemed like, this is India being represented at the golf match, or whether it was even at fencing earlier on. I love the spirit and the confidence with which these young folks are, participating at international. It was fantastic to watch it today.
Absolutely. And when we talk of sport, well, we cannot go farther than hockey, am I right? The historic bronze medal after 41 years. And who's going to talk to us about it? That would be Sanvi Baheti, an 8-year-old from Bangalore. Sanvi herself plays football, tennis, badminton, cricket, is quite the sports lover. And we're going to start off with Sanvi. Hey, Sanvi.
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
I'm fine, Sanvi. How are you?
I'm fine.
Welcome to Backstage, Bukosmia's room, Sanvi. And I believe you've been watching the hockey matches with a lot of interest. So tell us what this bronze medal from the hockey team and the performance of the women's team as well in hockey, what does that mean to you? Tell us.
Like, the women's team played very well, yet they lost against Great Britain. And our India's men team, I was, very proud when they won the bronze for India. And the last medal they won was in 1980, 41 years ago. I think parents should give their children, should, encourage their children to take hockey as a sport. Our women's team was very, sad that they lost against Great Britain. But I think our we should, our what do you call this? Colleges, schools, and sports academies should focus also on hockey. Our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji tried to encourage the girls, and after seeing yesterday, I am inspired to learn hockey.
Wow, that is a statement of the day. When an 8-year-old says that I am inspired to take up hockey because of what I see, I mean, that was goosebumps moment right there. And I know we have Shweta joining us. I have to tell you guys, Shweta Singh is an accomplished journalist who has worked with Times of India sports pages. You know, you name the athlete she has met, and she has interviewed some of the most amazing athletes. She's on chat. She's traveling at the moment, so her tech isn't good. But I would ask Shweta to do talk to us on the chat. Shweta, people would love to hear from you. So tell us about that. And Nidhi, what a statement to start off today's conversation.
Yes, I love that. I think I can see in my own lifetime of watching Olympics how we've gone from a sense of resignation and watching it as an audience who's not really involved because we don't bag so many medals to this whole new change, where it looks like, yeah, we can get it in spite of, all the lack of infrastructure and support that our players face. And the spirit of the hockey team was exactly that. I was amazed when in the last 17 second they were asking for a penalty because they hadn't given up till then. So it's not surprising that our young ones are getting inspired. That's just wonderful to see how a change can be brought about more by people than from the top. So very very glad to hear that.
Archana, can I say a word here? Can I comment, please? Yeah.
Yes, go ahead.
Yeah, Archana, I just wanted to add one thing. There are kids here. They should not forget that the women's team, which was playing in the semi-final, was playing against the Rio Games gold medalist team, which means that we were not only up against a very good team, we were up against champions. And yet,
Right.
we allowed them only to score 4 times, despite they tried on our goal at our goal for 20 times. So you can imagine the level of hockey that we are playing at now. These girls, the Indian team, they are going to play in the Junior World Cup. So you can imagine, what I'm saying is, now these girls are going to be the future for say let's 10 to 12 years, because these girls are 19 and 20 and they are playing at the Olympics already. Um, I would just say that I would just wrap it up saying that hockey is going to be in great hands. Odisha is developing world's best hockey stadium, and the World Cup 2023 is going to be held there. They are sponsoring the Indian men's and the women's hockey team. It's going to be awesome. The future is going to be bright. I just hope more and more boys and girls pick up hockey sticks. That's it from my side.
That is
Thank
so wonderful to hear, Shweta. It was really the best note to wrap up the conversation on on hockey. I think that was really lovely.
Thank you, Shweta, and we look forward to what you say. Also, from what our youngsters say, Shweta, of course, with her vast experience, brings in the knowledge that all of us would love to hear from. Another thing that I want to add to what Shweta said about the Odisha team, we spoke about how the government can step in, and the Odisha government has actually put in about 150 crore to support both these teams. And that is the result of what we see here today. Thank you so much, Shweta, for joining in. Thank you, Sanvi, for that wonderful note for us to start. And now we can go ahead to what's happening in, can you guess what sport I'm talking about? This is a sport where the lovely Mary Kom and the Lovelina Borgohain showed us what grit and what a woman can do. So I'm going to go ahead to Vanya and yeah, let's speak to her.
Yeah, hello, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, right now I'm going to be talking about Mary Kom and Lavlina Borgohain, and
Okay.
they were our women representatives of the India boxing team, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, so if we take by example, one of the five medals that we have won, it's by Lavlina Borgohain, and three of them are by women. So that's a really great example our country has set. And Lavlina Borgohain, she like her story started very small scale, and but like it also shows us that they knew better than to give up, so they kept working at their goal until what we see in her now, which is success. And even Mary Kom, she lost this year, but despite the hardship she faced after losing, she was in tears. If we've seen the match, Mary Kom showed us the true spirit of Olympics. She showed even grace in loss, so I found that really interesting because like she didn't. She showed true sportsmanship, if I were to say, in my opinion.
Absolutely, Vanya. Well said. Very beautifully articulated. And you spoke about Lovelina Borgohain. So, all of you on the chat, this is for you to answer. After Lovelina won the bronze, tell us what change did she bring? Because of her, something changed in her little city of little city, not even a city, a place called Golaghat in Assam. What happened because of that? Anyone who knows, put it on the chat. And for all of you who are listening, tell us your most special moment of the Olympics, and I will read it out for all of you. So on the chat, what was your most special moment of this Olympics so far? And I know we have a heavy schedule ahead with Neeraj and Bajrang Punia up for today afternoon. We look forward to that. But thank you for that, Vanya. We loved that. Mary Kom and Lovelina Bohergin just showing us how it's done.
Yeah.
Shweta says she firmly put Assam on the world map. Absolutely, she did. And I'm really happy to see the contribution of our athletes from all parts of the country, not just the Northeast, coming together from the smaller towns, from the smaller places, and making such a big difference, really, to their places. So put it on chat. What difference did it make to the infrastructure because of what Lovelina did? All right. Thank you for that. I have a question for you guys. Do you guys know about the refugee team? Do you guys know
Yes.
this refugee
Yeah.
team? You do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I have a very special speaker here called Krisha. Krisha has been Bookosmian and she loves journalism workshops. She's been a wonderful journalist for us. And Krisha is here to talk about the refugee team and who they are and what is so special about them. Over to you, Krisha.
Okay, am I audible?
Yes.
Hello? Yeah, okay. Okay, so I am not starting off, I would say that I am not a sports fan. I have never been drawn to Olympics or something like that. But this year, it was something special that brought me to the newspaper and the TV every day to see Olympics, and that was the refugee team. Because we make countries and we make differentiations. Some people become stateless, and some people have no countries, but they lose all of their opportunities. But this time, the Olympic Federation has shown that we make countries, we make boundaries, but sports brings us all together. This refugee Olympic team is not just about sports or winning or medals or what they have been faced in the past, but it is moreover about humanity and how humans react in every situation. I think so. It's refugee Olympics should be an inspiration for everybody, like or everybody from around the world. We should not think that from which country they are, but refugee Olympics signify much more than sports, I think.
Beautifully said. And yes, the refugee team has been one of the biggest stories, of this Olympics, where we've seen some wonderful athletes who have come back from war-torn Syria. They did not have place to sleep. They have walked and come in those dingies on the seas. made very, very difficult journeys to be where they are. And yes, they haven't won a medal, but really they won all of our hearts with their resilience. And we hope that this, the refugee team doesn't need to exist, that they find a new home, or that they're able to go back to their house. Nidhi, how would you look at the refugee team, and how emotional has the Olympics brought about such a beautiful factor of what being a refugee is?
Yeah, I think it's wonderful. And the Olympics is like, I think Krisha was saying. So, not all of us follow all these sports, but the event does bring us together in a way which is a lot about, countries doing something together, whether they're playing there or us watching it together. To the extent that, philosophers and historians like Yuval Noah Harari said that if you are a fan of Olympics, you believe in global cooperation. So you are not so much, don't worry so much that this is my country doing this, or I'm going to win, and not so high on nationalism. But this wonderful thing that there's this beautiful story where otherwise you may or may not get along with countries, but at this event you're following the same rules. You are accepting decisions of somebody. So it is just wonderful to see countries come together in the form of global cooperation. And the refugee team is, I think, one of the most thoughtful things that I have seen, with that global cooperation coming together. So it was beautiful. I think it was really heartwarming. A lot of it to me seemed much beyond just one particular sport or the technique or the results or the stats of it. The spirit with which they are playing, they are running it, and with which we are forced to watch it. I think that's a wonderful change.
Beautifully put, Nidhi, and so true. This Olympics has been more than just winning medals. And well said, Krisha, says Sheetal. Vanya wants to add something. Please go ahead, Vanya. Please put it in the chat. Nidhi, I agree with you. Watching the medalist diver Tom Daly knitting was my favorite moment too. I mean, there he is, and everyone's all nervous, and he decides to knit a small pouch to keep his gold medal. That was just a brilliant moment from the Olympics. Sanvi says Atanu Das winning a nail biting archery with 10 points. That was just brilliant to watch. You can watch that all over again. And I would suggest that you do. There are a lot of slow mo videos, and people have done some slick editing. And I would definitely recommend that. Shweta adds that investing in sports means investing in youth, which means we are investing in the future. Absolutely well said, on dot. We have with us a very special guest who's listening today. That is K.R. Guru Prasad. For those who do not know, he is one of the best sports journalists we have in this country. He was a former news editor and the sports editor of DNA, and also the author of a book which talked about the small town heroes. Brilliant book brought about by Penguin. Thank you so much for joining us, Guru, and we hope to interact with you. Do put on chat what you feel about this whole interaction, and your thoughts as well on what the Olympics is. We would love that. So, for all of you youngsters and young at heart listening, this is what you're doing. We have some of the most amazing and brilliant minds coming in, joining us to share their thoughts and, of course, listen from you. And we know this is only going to get better as it goes along. Thank you, Guru, for joining us. Thank you, Shweta, for those comments. And thank you, Yashvi, for that. And thank you, Krisha, for that. We'll now go to Yashvi, who joins us from the UK. Yashvi is 14. And yeah, she is going to tell us about her most special moment. And hint, it has something to do with weightlifting. Yashvi, go ahead.
Thank you, and hope everyone can hear me.
Yes, perfectly. Go
Um,
ahead.
so I think Olympics has been great this year, and India has, I mean, on the world level, India has never been represented so nicely, and I think India's really shown what it can do if it has the best of coaches and the best of teams on the world level by winning 5 medals. And I'm thankful to be given the opportunity to be spoken about Mirabai Chanu. She's an Indian weightlifter. She has recently won the silver medal at the 2020 Tokyo Olympics in women's 49 kg weightlifting. And along with winning various medals, I think the best thing she has won is the Padma Shri and the Rajiv Gandhi Khel Ratna Award. Um, and looking at her past when she was small, she was born in a city near Manipur, and her family identified her power when she was 12, when she was lifting a huge bundle of firewood and bringing it home with her brother who was elder than her, and he could barely even pick it up. So I think everything starts from your childhood. And Mirabai really had no idea about weightlifting when she was young, and she wanted to be an archer. And when her parents and her teachers told her about uh, Kunjarani Devi, she read about her, who was a iconic weightlifter from Manipur. And I think her story is really inspiring because, suffering from depression, she has risen up and stunned the world by winning a gold in the World Championships and now a silver in the Olympics. So I think it's really, really inspiring because even if you have fallen once, you can rise up again. And along with the silver in the Olympics, she's won a gold in the World Championships, a bronze in the Asian Games, and a silver and a gold in the Commonwealth Games. So I think not only winning medals is such a great thing, but rising up from your problems and never stopping is even bigger than that. Thank you.
Wow, that was brilliant, Yashvi. And I'm so glad that you sitting in the UK are following the Olympics and supporting the Indian team. And, just beautiful all around. Nidhi?
Yes, I totally agree. Yashi, that was beautiful. And I also think that the whole resilience and the mental makeup of the players in, those minutes for which they train for years and years, the pressure they're withstanding, then, losing out and then again coming back. They're just such great lessons in, how and what we can hope to achieve for ourselves, even as human beings. So totally with you on that. I think it is a story which is true for most of our players in India. They come from backgrounds which are certainly not very conducive to, train and spend money and effort, etc. While we also have, we're seeing this beautiful trend of getting coaches, international talent, which supports players. But at the same time, what you read out about how she started off, her talent was identified because she used to lift heavy loads or something like that. It's beautiful. I think that whole journey, what it takes from a person, how much they sacrifice to be here. And I always remember, some friends from the sports world who say that you guys watch it for like 5 or 10 minutes a match, especially, like weightlifting, etc. But the player behind it trains for years for that, for those 5 or 10 minutes. So for them, the pressure is immense to perform. It means a hell lot. And then after, if you've not had the result that you want, you come back. I think that resilience is pure beauty. It's wonderful. So I totally agree with Yashvi on that.
Thank you, Nidhi, and thank you, Yashvi. And adding to what Yashvi said, I actually, they train for 4 years and they don't just stop. Uh, 2 days after she won the silver medal, she is back in action. She's back training, and she's already looking for the next tournament. That is the amazing part about these athletes. In the previous question, I had asked you what change came about after Lovlina won the to bronze medal, and the answer for that is that because she won the bronze medal, the MLA and the people got together to build a road that led to their town. That's how bad where they used to live was so bad. It was so sloshed with the rainwater, they had never repaired it. But because she wanted to look at the change, they immediately wanted to welcome her back with a good road, and the first thing that they did was build that road. So it's not just winning medals, there's so much more emotion to that. It makes people alive. It makes them realize there is a place called Golaghat in Assam that's produced probably one of the finest athletes in India that's on the international stage, and that's Lovlina. And that's the change these athletes are bringing about. And not only for the people who play, but the people who watch it. We are all inspired in our own ways, like as we saw Krisha and Sanvi and all our lovely youngsters coming in and discussing. And now let's go on to another event that we seem to be doing very well these days. We'll now speak about badminton, and I'm very happy to say that the person who's going to speak about badminton is Sanyukta Lokhande. She's a 17-year-old Bookosmian from Vadodara. She is a state level badminton player herself. So we know that she's going to give us some important insights. Sanyukta, hey, thanks for joining us.
Hi, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good, Sanyukta. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you so much.
Sanyukta, tell us about, as a badminton player, how did you feel for Sindhu losing that important gold medal match, but coming back with resilience for that bronze? Tell us what you think about that.
See, first of all, badminton is a very difficult sport and it requires a lot of hard work, lot of vigorous training, just like other sports. So when we talk about PV Sindhu lost a gold medal, it's not something to worry about because when we talk about all the other achievements that she has done for the country, gold medal doesn't matter much. But when she had a comeback for the bronze medal, the country was proud, and I was proud as a badminton player. I felt that my sport has been honored, that she has a bronze medal for the country, and I was so happy to see her get that bronze medal. But at the same time, I felt that the gold medal was a much bigger achievement, but it didn't matter when I came to know that she played for the country and that she had a bronze medal against the China.
Lovely, Sanyukta. So glad to know that. And how do you feel the future of badminton is? Are there any other stars that we don't know about? Who do you think is going to be the next big thing?
See, someone said that the youth is dependent on sports. The sports is dependent on youth. So, like, there are a lot of upcoming players in badminton. But as far as uh, Olympics or such big competitions are concerned, I think there's going to be a lot of time before somebody comes and goes ahead of PV Sindhu. Like, she's a legend, if you say so. After Saina Nehwal, she's
Absolutely a
made our
legend.
country proud.
Absolutely. She's made all of us proud. And people like you, Sanyukta, who are talented in badminton yourself, who knows the rigor that takes through, this is a wonderful achievement indeed. And we're really happy to have you here today, Sanyukta. We wish you the best for your endeavors with badminton and everything else too. All the best to you.
Thank you.
Aisha,
Thank you
I
so much.
just wanted to ask
Sure.
Sanyukta what made her decide to train in badminton. What is the motivation that a young person has when they decide on a particular sport?
I started playing badminton when I was 4 years old, and then gradually, when I started watching matches, to TV tournaments or badminton Premier Leagues, and then when I saw Saina Nehwal play, it encouraged me more to take up badminton as my primary sport. And then
Right.
I started counting her as my idol, along with PV Sindhu, when I first got into my first tournament on the state level. So then I wanted to play more, and then it kind of became my dream to play badminton only.
How wonderful. No, that's wonderful, and I wish you all the best. I hope you go on to play, win, and also enjoy. And I think
Thank
a
you.
very important takeaway, which is always there with these examples, like we were talking of how now watching hockey, India play hockey with the women's team, especially, is inspiring others, is that they say you can't become what you can't see. If we don't see these role models, it's hard to go for a sport or find that inspiration. So very nice to see this fresh wave of sports persons from India leading the way and inspiring our youth. Very, very nice to see, and all the best, Samnika.
Thank you, Nidhi. Thank you, Sanyukta. Thanks for joining us. We always speak of how the Olympics is more than just sports. But this time, there was a very interesting topic that came about, a very valid one. You see, in sports like gymnastics, there are certain body attire that they wear, and that's been followed for years. It's been there forever. But no one has ever asked the athlete whether, is this what you want to wear when you are doing your gymnastics? Is this what you want to wear? But that's not something that was ever asked to them. And this time, for the first time ever, the team Germany made a statement with their outfits at the Tokyo Olympic Games, where they decided to wear full body unitards. instead of the short leotards that they usually wear. And this was a huge statement. A lot of celebrities actually came forward to say that they support this move. At the same time, what we also heard was there was another team that also tried to do the same thing, but they're actually fined. Yes, that really happened. But what's really the story behind it? For more on this, I'm going to go ahead to Anushka Pandit, who is going to tell us what happened and what this really means. What does she think of athletes standing up for what they want to wear? Over to you, Anushka. Introduce yourself and then go ahead and tell us.
Yeah, good morning, ma'am. Good morning, everyone. So I'm extremely thrilled to be a part of this event today. And I think, I am also not inclined towards sports a lot, but this time Olympics conveyed a lot more than sports, like winning medals and making countries proud. But this time they conveyed an extremely important message. And I would like to begin with a question that we all know that our choices matter, but the question is that are we still giving it the topmost priority? Well, this time our Olympics taught us the same. And we all know that now experiencing the fact that Olympics, which are being held, are not only about sports, but it's about they presented a message that following an age-old cliche towards large gathering and taking the advantage of this world stage and then presenting their own ideas and thoughts and they created a sense of awareness among a large gathering. So similarly, this time the Norwegian beach handball team preferred to wear shorts over bikinis, for which they were even fined as well. So I guess the fine was about 1.3 lakh. So, but still, they chose to stick together and convey that it's okay to stand up for comfort. And these players also sparked a ray of hope amidst darkness and tried altering perceptions that were being followed since age. And so they ignored the noises and just followed their own choices. So I believe that they bore their own confidence and they fought for their own choices. And so I think that we also need not to what I think is that the message which we need to take from them is just to fight for our choices and not to end up living in a comfort zones, because I know that we all know that if we end up living in a comfort zone, so what's eventually going to happen. But the message is to simply jog our memories and stand up with the right choices, and we need to make a wise choice between show or shatter. Thank you.
What a lovely statement, Anushka. I think that really sums up the spirit of Olympics. I'm sure for all of these athletes, this would have come as a great source of confidence that, yes, it is possible to stand up and speak up when you think things are wrong. And that's what we are doing over here on this podcast as well. We are here to share our thoughts, to be open about it, to feel free in a safe and non-judgmental space. Thank you so much for that, Anushka. Really appreciate your mature thoughts. Anushka, who's 14 from Delhi, and we'll look forward and see how it happens, whether this wave of change actually sparks much needed change for the athletes that they have silently spoken and complained and suffered for so many years, but never had the courage to come up. Great job, Anushka. All of you there, you know, a family is really important to an athlete. We all know that family is important to everyone, but for an athlete more so. And there is one athlete who played today, who brought her mother on the field. Can you name what athlete? Who is that? What sport she plays for? I look forward to your answers on the chat. It's fairly easy. I've given away a lot of clues. So all of you, that's a quiz question for all of you. Let me see how much you know your Olympics. So put it on the chat. Who is that athlete who brought her mother on the field, has played today? And let's see that. Let's say that she kind of created history today. All right. So thank you, Anushka. Uh, we'll now speak about the role of movies. I know you all must be thinking, what does movies what have to do with Olympics? But I want to probe that with Pragna. And Pragna Karthik, I request you to unmute yourself. Hi, Pragna.
Hello, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Pragna, for joining us. Pragna joins us. She is a 12-year-old from Bangalore. She's a national karate champion and she plays table tennis as well. So, Pragna, tell us, is there really something that movies can do when we say, you know, to bring about sports and recollection for everyone? Go ahead, Pragna.
So, movies have inspired a lot of people, but only to a certain extent. So, watching movies and getting inspired is different from watching live sports. So, it depends on each individual about, their interests and the way they pursue it. Because for me, it was an inclination towards outdoor activities from a very young age, and that made me pursue karate. So, my personal opinion is that movies are meant and believed to, entertain and take the viewers to an entirely different world. So, if anybody is inspired to take up any sport, it is appreciable and it is also important for the progress of our country.
Wonderful. But movies like, say, Chak De India and Dangal, they have inspired a lot of people. And if I'm not wrong, everyone was saying that the entire journey of how the hockey teams was progressing was so much like Chak De India. Nidhi, I believe we had a conversation that was very similar to that.
Yes. Yes, absolutely. I totally agree. And I remember, Archana, when we were talking about it, I think that's one movie that I watched with my 8-year-old. And while the idea was it brings together such wonderful points about how there are stereotypes when you play for a country, belong to different parts of, come from different states, etc., the issues you face, the politics, etc. But while watching the movie, I always believe that is just a little bit of extra touch of drama to keep things interesting. But having seen the matches, and especially, these last minute, absolutely nail biting results which come, your penalty shootouts and all, it just seemed that so much of that was true. So now I know, like, every time you're listening to the commentary and one of these matches are on, even the commentators are like, this is a Chak De moment or whatever. I do think they inspire. They do have a role to play. They would. I don't know if they totally convince a person to take a spot. I think it is coming together of largely the pop cultures and what the movies show, but along with how we also do and role models we have to look up to in actual games. I do feel they have a role to play. Yeah.
Right. Thank you, Pragna, and thank you for your wonderful thoughts. We wish you all the best with your table tennis and your karate. We wish you go places, and we wish that one day we can have, we can all gather here and talk about all our lovely athletes who are right here, who have joined us. We hope that you kind of go ahead and win medals and laurels for India as well. All the best to you guys. I had asked you about the person who had her mother on the field, and the answer is Aditi Ashok. Or her caddy for the golf tournament was actually none other than her mother. And in previous tournaments, she has had her father as a caddy, and today she had her mother. And what a beautiful moment it is to have your mother as a caddy right next to you as you go ahead and do this amazing achievement. I think it speaks volumes of the support that is needed, of strong family support and friend support that really shapes all these athletes is just wonderful. And all of you athletes here, I'm sure it's the same for you too. And and all of you, those who are friends, are working, and I know all of you are also working towards some sport. Great work. Do support each other. I think that's the best environment to thrive. All right, another question now. How many of you know these names? If you know these names, put on chat what I'm talking about. Okay, what sport I'm talking about. Mumtaz Essa Barshim of Qatar and Gianmarco Tamberi of Italy. Something very incredible happened between these two. And let me just put it and say it was on a track and field event. Put it on chat if you know what I'm talking about, and I will definitely get back to you on that. All right. And now we go to our final speaker of the day who has something very interesting to share. That's Pulkit Anand, who's 12. He's from Noida. And he thinks if animals had Olympics, what would the top event at the Olympics be? And this question is open for all of you. If animals had Olympics, what do you think would their top event be? So I invite Pulkit to speak. Hi, Pulkit.
Hello, ma'am. Well, that's quite an intriguing question. If animals had Olympics, undoubtedly the top sport would be field hockey. Bernie the zebra and Spotty the giraffe would join hands to select and train a strong 11-player hockey team for all animals in the jungle. They would be called hungries because they would be hungry for gold. They would make hockey sticks out of bamboo, and the goals would be the rivers on each side. Mind you, hockey is the world's third most popular sport, with an estimated number of 2 billion fans worldwide. So, not just the animals, but even all the humans would be glued to this Olympics game.
All right. And well, is India there though? Can we say the Indian Tigers also will be participating? Will it be a country wise or will it be a species wise? How will that go?
I think it should be country wise.
Wow. Okay. So the Tigers of India versus the Siberian Tigers. I think I would watch that. Thank you so much, Pulkit, for your very interesting views. We just love how our youngsters come up with the most brilliant ideas. I don't think any of us even thought of Olympics, with animals. But, that is our Bookosmians for you. All of our youngsters come up with such brilliant ideas, and we're all really happy and proud to be part of this initiative to make all of you feel heard. So I had asked you guys about these two names, Mumtaz Essa Barshim of Qatar and Gianmarco Tamberi of Italy. And the reason is, well, the answer for that is that they were on the men's high jump. And a very interesting thing that happened was both of them had clocked the same time when they jumped, and one of them got injured. And they requested if the other could withdraw from the competition and asked if they could share the gold. The referee said yes, and the rest is history. Because one person withdrew and he allowed his compatriot to share the gold. I think that is one of the standout moments of Olympics where we see not just the competition, but the sportsmanship to have room for someone else to come and share the joy. It was really the moment of the Olympics for a lot of people. And I know a lot of you also agree on that. Uh, Vanya says that she asked for 2 goals because they were tied and something happened. Exactly, that's what happened. Well done, Vanya. Mukta comes in. Mukta is a content strategist for Backstage. She's amazing and she loves sports as well, and she would love to see a synchronized swimming of animals. That would be wonderful with the dolphins, I guess. A lot of claps. Thank you, everyone, for joining on the chat. Sheetal says hockey is not the third most favorite game in the world. Well, right now, hockey is the number one favorite in the world. For those who are following it, the India versus England test match was actually going on at the same time. But really, nobody was following that. Everyone was all glued into the hockey. Kudos to all these young children, says Harjeet. Thank you for that comment. And thank you, everyone, for joining us. It's been a wonderful session. Thank you, Pulkit, for giving us the last word and showing us what creativity can bring. To all of the young speakers who joined us today, they were just brilliant in every way. Vanya, Pulkit, Krisha, Anushka, Yashvi, Pragna, Sanyukta, Sanvi, thank you so much for joining. And as of course, our special guests, Shweta and Guru Prasad, who joined us as well. Thank you for this brilliant session. I'll now give it to Nidhi, who will close out the event for us. Thank you, Nidhi.
Thanks, Archana. This was wonderful, everybody. I think when we started, we spoke of what young people are doing at the Olympics, sharing medals, knitting, and not worrying so much about what they're doing for the country, but rather for the sport. And I think it speaks equally of how all of you here feel about it. I think a more generic take on sports and what it really does for us in bringing us together and building resilience and getting up again and going for the next challenge. I think that's just wonderful. Whether it's these young people who are playing Olympics and bringing about a very different Olympics for us from what we've seen in our life, to whether it is you young folks who are talking about it, thinking so much more about life at 12 and 13 and 14. I think you are the real change makers, and we would just continue to keep listening in to what you have to say. So thanks again, everybody, for joining in. Thanks, Archana. This was wonderful. Thanks to Shweta and Guru for joining in, all the veterans from the sports world. Thank you so much. We'll see you again soon. Bye.
Thanks, everyone. And if you have to write, do write in all your thoughts. We are always ready and always willing to hear what you say. So send in your poems, your essays, your short stories, anything you want to write, your views. We would love to publish it. That's at sara@bookosmia.com. We have sent you the email ID. We would love to hear from you. Thank you so much for joining us. Have a wonderful weekend ahead. And we hope the best from our 2 medal hopefuls this year. But of course, more from all our athletes in the future as well. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day ahead.